Safety management systems are an imperative part of operations in the aviation industry. Throughout their development, they've shown weak areas to safety experts and allowed them to improve the systems to the extent that the safety issue does not surface again. During the course of this improvement, however, the act of taking some form of punitive action against employees has gone to the wayside, with the notion that if punishment is a factor, safety issues are not going to be reported as often nor in the manner they should be. While the amount of incidents being reported has seen a rise in recent years, so has the amount of repeat incidents occurring. With the threat of punitive action being removed, a learning curve was created for the aviation industry. Also, certain aspects of causal factors in accidents have not been thought of or investigated by the convening authorities when appropriate. With these events going on, aviation professionals are beginning to ask themselves if there is really any benefit to some of the safety programs being implemented throughout the industry, or if improvements can be made to ensure success. The FAA has developed several voluntary safety reporting systems in recent years. However, each of these programs is deficient in some form, as well as one common fashion. They all lack the ability to hold the violator accountable and take punitive actions. Many programs developed by the FAA as a source for gathering information are voluntary in their nature. This raises several issues in the accuracy and effectiveness of the program. First, it creates a deficiency because operators are not required to report operation safety data, thus not allowing for trending data to be identified in time and possibly resulting in a mishap. This allows for many violations to go unnoticed by the FAA and does not give problems the attention that they deserve. Secondly, when something is voluntary, you are always going to have people that don't want to participate in it for one reason or another. When safety monitoring programs are voluntary, they do not represent the aviation community as a whole. Commercial airlines fly vastly more than general aviation operators do, but who's to say that the commercial sector of the industry could produce relevant data that could save us general aviation accidents? Despite the FAA's best efforts to create programs that allow for positive feedback, certain aspects of accidents and incidents remain unaddressed. One common factor in aviation mishaps that has not begun to be addressed until recently is human error. The FAA has developed a system known as the Human Factors Analysis and Classification System, which analyzes each accident individually for causal factors. The program is still in its infancy, but has already begun to show how certain safety initiatives have possibly impacted certain causal factors. While the factor of human error needs to be addressed, we need to remember that human error is not only limited to air crews and ground crews. Between 1990 and 2000, there was research performed on 1,322 separate commercial aviation accidents to determine if organizational failure was a contributing factor. Of those accidents, only 60 can be attributed to pilot error. After further investigation into those accidents, they contained over 70 different organizational causal factors. Of those same 60 incidents, 29 resulted in fatalities as a result of the accident. NASA has attempted to mitigate the factor of human error by improving technology. Of the technologies they have developed, less than half have shown any impact in accounting for human error. Human error is not something that we can mitigate away. It is something we must learn to accept is always going to be a factor, regardless of what level of automation the system operates at. Perhaps one basic concept that we can all recognize when we're talking about safety management systems is Reason's model. In essence, Reason rationalized that when there is a routine departure from the rules set forth before the workplace, it is a result of management and supervision tolerating such departure from the rules. The lack of addressing the issues is not the only problem that faces the aviation industry today. With the implementation of recent safety management systems, violators have self-identified and become immune to punitive actions. Several safety management reporting systems have been developed in recent years which allow operators to self-identify when they have made errors. One of the most controversial programs to create to date is the Air Traffic Safety Action Program. As you all know, this program is created with the intention of allowing air traffic controllers to identify when they have made an error resulting in a violation of the rules surrounding safe movement of aircraft. Many controllers feel that this program is nothing more than a way for our controllers to make mistakes and not be punished for it. Over time, the acceptance of departure from these rules is going to result in a catastrophic accident within the aviation community. The controllers that have used the protection afforded by this program would have been removed from their positions within the FAA in years past, but in light of the shortage, we are allowing them to remain and continue to pose an inherent risk to the safety of our nation's air travelers. While all these programs have their deficiencies, the solution to the problem is not going to be one that government officials like. There needs to be regular reviews of programs for data being collected and their effectiveness of the programs to be realized. The solution to the problem that many of these programs pose to the aviation community is a simple one. There need to be measures taken to ensure the program is generating effective, reliable data to base future decisions off of. The implementation of simple monitoring programs would allow for the FAA to evaluate the cost effectiveness, efficiency, and impact of the program has had since its last review. At this point in time, data collected at this time for the most programs is inaccurate due to a majority of the programs being voluntary. Also, the incident that occurs to generate the report is subject to several variables that include the individual's awareness of the reporting program and their motivation to file a report. In addition, it would allow for officials to revamp programs where they need to be in order to make them more effective and continue the heritage legacy that aviation professionals everywhere work so hard to build. The first step is for the FAA and NTSB to mandate the program as required, citing continued safety and enhancement of the aviation industry with respect to safety. Doing so increases the amount and accuracy of the data generated by persons dealing with the situations on a regular basis. As many of you will agree, anonymity is a key component of any effective reporting system. Therefore, with the proposal of the programs to become mandatory, anonymity can remain a characteristic of the program to protect the reporter. Finally, if the offense is severe enough, investigations need to be launched to discover the causal factors for the incident. Doing so not only protects our nation's air travelers, but it will allow us to generate additional data that may have been excluded from the report to identify additional deficiencies. By levying some form of administrative action against offenders, they take the time to calculate the cost-benefit ratio. Suddenly, the cost of skipping that step in a task becomes quite expensive, especially in today's competitive job market. Safety management systems are not quick-fix operations, but through the implementation of several different measures, the aviation industry can continue to grow at a healthy rate and see a continued rise in the levels of safety. Since the aviation began to see massive growth through the different forms of advancement in technology, safety programs have become the norm for operations. Some programs have been evaluated to be ineffective and terminated as such, but others have had their deficiencies since development. The appropriate authorities need to learn to look at programs on a more regular basis so that initiatives remain effective. The aviation industry is constantly evolving, and the way the industry operates need to change with it. Human error remains a major player in causing accidents, whether it is the aircrew, supervisor, manager, or even up to the executive level. General Jumper stated the facts best when he said, "Any goal other than zero implies that mishaps are acceptable, but no mishap is." Aviation professionals today need to strive for perfection and continue making air travel the safest form of transportation.